There we go. I'm getting ready for my trip to Las Vegas here. Yeah, as you can tell, it's going well. Yes, we got everything figured out with Mr. Chris, and we take an Uber to the airport. Yeah, I'm ready to go. Las Vegas, here we come. Anyway. Now, I'm in the airport, getting on a flight to DC. Not DC, Las Vegas. Gone too many places, I guess. Yeah, here we are. What you might be wondering now is, okay, so this YouTube channel is about building a business, and this is the second week. What are you doing to get to that next step of finding customers? Well, here's what we're doing. The whole reason we're going to Las Vegas was to go to an auto manufacturer battery conference. Now that seems extremely specific and narrow, but it is a thing in Las Vegas. So we went there, and what we wanted to learn, some key things. We wanted to know value propositions for not only battery manufacturers, but OEM auto manufacturers. See what they value, because it's one thing to think of what we think is valuable to them, but you're never going to get the true answer unless you really go out and just talk to them. And the more people you talk to, the better. The more people connect with, the deeper conversations you can have with potentially an interview. So we wanted to learn about value propositions for both those two parties. And addition to that, we wanted to learn specifically, would you buy the product we might produce? Just to get a letter of intent, gain a lot of traction in a very short period of time. That was the big goal of this conference. Now, this conference was a little expensive, but it was crucial in deciding if this is the consumer segment we wanted to target, because these are the people that we really need to talk to. So we decided, well, let's set up meetings. Let's make sure we talk to people. Let's make sure we get our questions that we really want answered. So what we did there is basically we just set up meetings, talk to different clients as far as battery manufacturer goes, OEM auto manufacturers, and then talk to other sections of this industry that give the raw feedstocks to those battery manufacturers. That was the big thing we wanted to learn as well. Learn about something we don't know about. That was the big part of going to this conference.
That is actually crazy that outside looks like that, because it did not look like that when I was here. That is wild. Well, that's what Las Vegas looks like. That's what Las Vegas looks like in the middle of the day. Anyways, well, I'm ready to go to this conference, and I'm just waiting for Chris to get in, and then we're going to go to the conference together. So
I was excited. I was ready to go to the conference at this point. All I needed was my other partner to come in so we could both go to the battery conference together. What I was doing here is I was emailing my professors just to double check and make sure they remembered that I was going to be gone for this battery conference. It was very important to me, so I really wanted to make sure they were on the same page I was, and that I wasn't going to be leaving anybody out hanging in the dry, or in the desert, as you might call it for Las Vegas. So after I emailed all my professors, I confirmed with my friend he was getting into the airport fine. And then what I did is I looked at the different tutorials that were going to be held at this event. What is a tutorial? It's basically just a presentation on where an expert comes in and they talk about something they're an expert in. There was different battery chemistry, or chemical engineers, chemists that came in. There were different business people that talked about different markets, like the nickel market, cobalt market. Once I figured that out, we made our way, once I got my friend, we made our way to the actual battery conference itself.
Battery supply chain right now. Without intermediate battery materials production, there can be no localized supply chain. And we see ourselves as
So that just gave you a little taste of what those tutorials look like. You know, basically a presentation. Beautiful Vegas Strip. Here's me and my other partner going to the battery conference. This was on probably the second day. We had a good time. We learned a lot at this battery conference, stuff that we could actually take away and for the future. But that was the end of our time in Las Vegas. What did we get? We learned the 4 value propositions. Biggest one is on cost. They really want to get costs down. They want the most energy dense. They want the longest cycle life. And the last one is definitely slipping me up. It's in my notes somewhere. But we got there. We talked to people. We learned about the value propositions. Here's me messing with my computer. But yeah, it was a good trip.
Well, I think I got it to work. I haven't turned this computer on in a really long time. It's probably been a year. So it says it's updating the system, which is a tiny bit concerning because I feel like that's going to take like 30 years. But you know, yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll see here. I should probably connect it to the internet, which is going to be another hassle in itself. I think I'm going to need to move all this back and put it on the desk so I can connect to good old internet. I guess we'll see. To be determined.
At this point, I was just so shocked that my computer actually worked that I started to mess around with things, and they seem to work. At the end of this, I got my computer running, and yeah.
Well, I got it to work. Don't know how. I legitimately thought I deleted everything on this computer, but I mean, apparently not. It's loading up now. Yeah, I don't know. We get that one side. Yep, there's the one side working. Oh, I did delete everything. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Well, that's what I see. Black screen of nothing. Yeah, I remember this. Okay, let's see if we can fix it.
Well, here is then me rigorously trying to get this thing to actually work. I was having a lot of trouble at first, and you can see me checking my phone about 1,000,000 times because I was waiting for it to actually restart. But eventually I figured out what needed to be done, and I got it working by some miracle.
All right, you probably had zero context to what I was doing in this, and I can't believe I actually did this. So, I got back into my YouTube account, which I haven't done for years. I haven't been able to do that for years. Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, so apparently I was able to get back into this account, which I haven't had access to for years. So that's great. And I did it all through my old computer, which this is absolutely delightful. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Well, perfect. I'm surprised. Look, one's got 13 views. This other one's got 18 views. These are crazy because I didn't do anything on these at all. So 2023. That's wild. Damn. Okay. Well, now I have my YouTube channel back, which is great. That's super cool. So yeah, I will be doing this. Nice. Now I have access to this, which is great. I keep on saying it's great, but I'm like shocked that I can get back into this. Like, this is shocking to me. Anywho, I'm gonna go back to I'm gonna go see what I can do with this.
Oh. Anyways, so currently it is, what day is today? Today is the 16th of December. Okay, today's the 16th of December. I have done customer interviews already at the Las Vegas conference here, but I have also been looking at different consumer segments. Most of these include students by the university that I do go to and reside at. I've got 20 interviews so far. They're locked in. 20 is not bad. I think I want to see if I can hit 40. If I can get that by the end of the week, 50 would be ideal. 50, I feel you can start to gain some analysis, see where people are talking about the same problem. I also have to work on what am I actually going to ask them. I want to start with something that resembles, tell me a time when you were very frustrated, or tell me about a problem that, well, here's what I want to do. If I say, tell me about a problem you have, okay, boom. They're not going to know what to say. I wouldn't know what to say. So I think phrasing it in more of a tone of like, tell me about a time that you were, tell me about a time in your daily life as a student that you were frustrated. Using framing it in a sense of emotions or getting emotions to see what they'll tell me. And then I'll follow that up with, well, why was that hard? Or why did you feel that way? And just keep asking why and see if I can get it 3 different times. I was watching a video and that's what they said. And I think that's, decently true to get some good feedback. So here I go. Let's try to get 50 interviews by, 50 interviews by the 20th. I can do it. I so can do it. I have faith in myself. I can do it. All right. Hopefully I come back and I have 50 interviews.
5 hours later.
All right. I've done a total of 16 different interviews. And it's only been, it's only been around 4 days. I have 60 that are scheduled out into the month of December and, what's left of December and what's the upcoming January. I am confident that I can do a good chunk of these. Now, did I make the 50? No. But, I am now reaching out to lots of different people to have these conversations, which is sort of the first step in what I need to do. What have I found so far? So we've done 16 interviews. What are the key themes? I could go into how I ask these questions, but I think it would be irrelevant. The big thing that I found, and these are mostly the demographic is around college-aged students. Some are students, some are not. And the big questions I ask them, just so you guys have a sense of what I'm actually asking, I am going up and I say, tell me a little bit about yourself. They tell me a little bit about themselves, their interests. It's interesting to see the wide variety of what you hear. I like to keep it very non-detailed so they sort of take the question how they want to take the question and tell you what they want to tell you. So I say, tell me about yourself. That's the first one. Second one, then I say, tell me a story about a challenge that you've had in your either job, personal life, work life. And then from there, generally, so far, the median, let me double check, the median for our interviews is around 21 minutes. And those are basically the questions I ask. Do ask follow-up ones just to make sure we're on the same page, make sure I understand. If they use abbreviations, I ask about those. Something I really just didn't get, I ask them again about it. Because really at the end of the day, we want to figure things out and not be confused. So 16 so far. What are the biggest themes? Biggest themes have been organization. Organization's one. Number 2 is mental health. And number 3 is job workforce training. Now, those are very interesting, but throughout these 16 interviews, I have gotten that again and again and again and again. I have now been taking it into the direction which one I want to attack most. And I think job training is the one I can attack most. And the reason I say that, and we're only up to 16 interviews, so I'm not really 100% narrowing it down yet. I think job training is obviously the biggest one. It deals with businesses, almost every single job has training of some sorts. Most of the training I was hearing about was, fast food workers. There was a couple that had internships that were in more corporate settings, and those deal with training. How can you train better? Is there potential for AI to be involved in this? I know AI is like a big umbrella term, but that's just what I'm thinking as of right now with these interviews. So currently, we're still in the month of December here, and I got many more weeks to go, 22 weeks left to go, and I will see. So I set out to do 500 interviews. 500 interviews is a lot. It's a lot of time. So if I continue to do these interviews, and this is what I learned in my marketing research class, if I continue to do these interviews and I learn new things every single time, that's great. If I don't, then I should stop doing the interviews, come to a conclusion of how I'm going to best solve this problem for our consumer base here. And then from there, once I figured out a good solution, propose it to these clients or customers and see what their thoughts are and see how it goes from there. So that's where we're at. The beginning of this week is a lot different than the end of this week, but at least we're consistent with it. That's what matters. Anyways, that does it for this video. Tune in next week to hopefully have more interviews, a lot of interviews, and to also potentially maybe have an idea of what we want to do and look at how big the market is. But we'll see how that goes. Anyways, till next time.